Hi, my name is Marie Laveria, and the name of my channel is Living a Simple Life and Finding Your Rhythm, LLC. And today I am starting a three-part video series. This first part is called An Awakening of Self, and there will be two other parts that continues on with the same information, getting a little broader with it. So I'm going to start today's presentation with a quote from a Jesuit priest who lived late 1800s into the middle 1900s, and his name was Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. And this is what he wrote: "We're not human beings having a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings having a human experience." Now, the church he was connected to didn't necessarily appreciate all of his thinking and writings, but let me read it to you again. We're not human beings having a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. We're spiritual beings having a human experience, and most people live their lives as if they were simply human. We have an entire spiritual realm of being within ourselves that we can explore, tap into, and live from. By spiritual, I want to say that it's not about religion, but rather it's about realizing that there's more to life than just physical. When we embrace our total selves and start to expand our experiences, we can tap into the sacred in our lives. I'd like to give you a couple examples of what I mean by that. What happens to us in nature is one of the examples. When we go into a nature area, I'm going to speak on the ocean or the beach because that's my favorite place, but wherever you go, you can translate it to that. That feeling of a sacred encounter as we take a walk on the beach and hear and feel the movements of the waves, the breeze, and listen to the birds. Another example is the art of creating and the experience we have when our passion flows and our creativity is allowed to be expressed through the many forms of art, writing, music, and so many more. We have deep physical experiences that brings inner joy and awesomeness that may bring us to tears at times. You know, these experiences that we have sometimes are so awesome that they move us, and it's something inside of our core that is moved. It's not a thought. It's not in the head. That is a sacred experience that allows us to connect to our soul spirit and share an awesome moment. Some people call this an awakening of consciousness. This happens when we begin to understand something that we could not understand before. And most of the time, these understandings can only be felt with the heart. That inner core that is totally separate from our thinking or our minds or our brains. It's separate. It's not in there. Our regular daily living is so connected to our spiritual awakening events. Now, I say this because I used to believe that the spiritual was superior and the physical was like, not that important. Well, I was wrong because they're intertwined. Our physical experiences and our spiritual experiences, they're so connected and so intertwined that we can't separate them. They're both important. We can't experience the movement in our heart unless we're in our body. And that's what I mean by they're intertwined. Remember, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Our spirit soul is our true selves, and our bodies are a temporary container that allows us to experience living in the physical body and physical world that we could not have known had we simply been in spirit form. Let us not forget who we are. We are much more than simply human. One characteristic of our soul spirit is wisdom, otherwise known as inner wisdom or intuition. You've heard of it. We have this great resource of wisdom within ourselves, and we don't usually remember it or use it, or some people don't even know they have it. And so in the third video, I will share some kind of tools, ways that you can connect with your intuition. But in the meantime, just know that it's a gut feeling. Intuition is I've spoken about this before. It's a gut feeling. It's an inner knowing, and you should listen to it. Because I spent a lot of time in my life not listening to it over the years, and I was in trouble. And when I listened to it, I saved myself a lot of trouble. It's a marvelous tool. So I'm going to stop here, and I thank you for listening. I hope this was helpful. Again, I'll have part 2 and part 3 in the following weeks. See you then. Bye-bye.